Thank you. We now move to topical questions. Question number 1, Neil Bibby.
To ask the Scottish Government whether it will provide an update on the implementation of new higher exams.
Minister Alistair Allen.
The implementation of Curriculum for Excellence, including the new national qualifications, is on track. Our schools have made excellent progress and all partners are committed to ensuring that the new qualifications are delivered successfully and benefit pupils across Scotland. The new hires available from next session are designed to prepare and support our young people for the changing world that lies ahead of them. They provide smooth progression from the new National 5 qualification, and we have made it clear that we consider it the natural option for young people in Scotland next session. We also recognise that there needs to be some scope for local flexibility based on professional judgment, where teachers can work closely with their senior management, local authority and with the parent body to make a decision in the best interests of their learners. Education Scotland, SQA, the Scottish Government and local authorities are delivering a wide range of support to help teachers introduce the new hires, and we will continue to listen and respond wherever we need.
Neil Bibby.
This is a very serious issue about our children's education. The Minister says he will listen and has listened, but he must have delayed hearing. Over 18 months ago, the Government was warned by teachers, parents and opposition members like myself about issues over teachers' workload. So why is it taken until now to allow for a delay? When was this decision taken? And why, if this climb down has been seamlessly planned and organised, did Bill Maxwell of Education Scotland send a letter to Directors of Education just 2 weeks ago setting out the expectation that all schools and centres will adopt the new qualifications in line with the national timetable for implementation in 2014-15? Will the Minister apologise for not listening sooner and for the shambolic mess this has left us in?
Minister.
Well, the member has to get it clear in his head whether he is criticising and whether the opposition are criticising the Government for pressing ahead too fast, as has been suggested, or not fast enough. There is no doubt in my mind at all that the Government has been listening. We've been listening for some weeks now to the calls that have been made from the teaching community, from schools, for exceptional circumstances to be recognised. And as for the expectation which he mentions and the letters he mentions, it remains the natural expectation, the natural option that young people will be sitting the new hires in the coming session. But really, for the Government to be criticised for recognising exceptional circumstances, for recognising the need to work with teachers, is a criticism I find difficult to follow.
Neil Bibby.
I don't think the listening mode lasted that long, because what I said is the situation could have been planned for and adequately resourced if the Government had listened to concerns 18 months ago. Instead, an audit was commissioned on the state of readiness for the new qualifications, but they did not speak directly with a single teacher. Ministers have previously said that delay would be damaging, but that's exactly what we'll have in some circumstances. Teachers, children and parents have been let down, with some children now not having a direct follow-on from their National 4 and 5 learning and teaching. So does the Minister therefore accept that his Government has got this badly wrong?
Minister. No, and I think it's also worth saying that when it comes to the flexibility that's been discussed, it will not be enough for a single teacher to make a decision. A decision would have to be made in consultation with the school, with the local authority and, crucially, with the parent body in that school. But I am more than happy to be in the company of people like Larry Flanagan of the EIS, who described this as a sensible approach in the best interests of pupils, and in the company of COSLA, represented by Douglas Chapman, who called this a pragmatic solution to exceptional circumstances. The Government has been listening, the Government has acted, and I am more than pleased that the Government is ensuring that Curriculum for Excellence continues to be the success that we all know it's going to be.
Question 2, Mike Mackenzie.
To ask the Scottish Government what was discussed at the recent meeting of the Island Areas Ministerial Working Group.
Minister Derek Mackay.
At its third meeting on the 21st of November, the group discussed fishing and aquaculture, enterprise and the Crown Estate. We also agreed a joint communique on our current position, which was released following the meeting.
Mike Mackenzie.
Does the Minister agree with me that the powers needed to implement significant changes within island communities, for example, through a Bill for an Islands Act, will only be available with independence?
Sir.
I would agree with those comments. The Government committed last week to bring forward a bill for an Islands Act upon independence. The best prospect for implementing the outcome of the Ministerial Working Group's discussions is with the full powers of independence, when decisions, for example, on energy, the economy, the Crown Estate, can be duly considered and, where necessary, legislated for by the Scottish Parliament. And today's Independence White Paper indicates clear steps towards local control and community benefit from the foreshore and seabeds in the islands. So yes, with independence comes immense opportunities.
Right, Mackenzie.
I thank the Minister for that answer, but I understand the group is scheduled to meet again in January. Can the Minister give me an update on what issues will be discussed then?
The agenda for that particular meeting hasn't yet been determined, Presiding Officer, because we determine the meeting, the content, in partnership with the campaign Our Islands, Our Futures. We're working through a very ambitious work plan with the campaign, and therefore we will have an ongoing dialogue about the content of that work plan, that agenda, leading to a prospectus by the summer in advance of the referendum. As well as this dialogue and those ongoing discussions, which is welcomed by the campaign and the three council leaders, there is ongoing dialogue within the Convention of the Highlands and Islands and the Scottish Cities Alliance also.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Can I ask, rather than promising jam tomorrow, that I may put on that agenda for that meeting things that can be devolved to the islands just now, such as transport to and from the islands, which would make a huge step change, the real integration of public services, and indeed devolving powers that are held by this government now. Will he put that on the agenda, and will he make progress, or are the islands also on pause?
Minister.
Well, I can tell the member, Rhonda Grant, that the island leaders don't feel the issues are on pause. They welcome and they wholeheartedly support the engagement that's being offered by the Scottish Government. We are building a prospectus. The Island Campaign has taken the opportunity of the constitutional debate to build a package that suits the island areas, and that's to be welcomed, and we're having very constructive dialogue with them. This is with the prospect of independence, because independence is an empowering concept, and this Parliament, led by the SNP, has been an empowering Parliament, and we will continue to empower local communities along the lines of the Lerwick Declaration, which is about subsidiarity, where local communities can determine their future. And with that transfer of powers from London to Edinburgh, yes, this party, yes, this government will transfer exactly more to local communities in the spirit of the Lerwick Declaration as outlined by the White Paper today.
Liam MacArthur.
I advise the Minister that the convener of Orkney Islands
Mr McGregor, I didn't call you. Liam MacArthur.
Can I perhaps advise the Minister that the convener of Orkney Islands Council doesn't agree with them? Stephen Hiddle in the joint communique last week said the three islands councils maintain their position that there should be legislation within the lifetime of this Parliament, regardless of the outcome of the referendum. Can I therefore ask the Minister to advise the Chamber on areas of policy for which the Scottish Government has responsibility? What of those is he committed to devolve to our islands? And more specifically, in the crucial area of transport, can I ask the Minister whether he believes that replacing Orkney's passenger ferry service between Stromas and Scrabster with a freight vessel during January next year is in keeping with the spirit of the so-called Lerwick Declaration or the objectives of his Islands Working Group?
Minister.
Well, I'm delighted that Liam MacArthur is, as usual, positive on the package that is being created for the island areas. You see, Mr MacArthur didn't go on and complete the sentence, the quote from the Council Leader, who I've just spoken to about an hour ago, who has said he is delighted with the engagement and the offer coming from the Scottish Government. And I had to reflect just to double-check what the Westminster Government is offering the island areas right now. Mr Carmichael wanted to have a big impression when he came into office in his ministerial post, and he has offered the island areas a ministerial desk. A desk. We are offering the islands empowerment, local control, local community benefit and constitutional protection within an independent Scotland. What a great comparison to the ministerial desk by a civil servant in Whitehall. But let's finish that sentence that Liam MacArthur mentioned. He did say that they want progress irrespective of the outcome of the referendum, but he respects the position of the Scottish Government. And here's the position of the Scottish Government that many people are coming round to realise. The best prospect of implementing the outcome of the group's discussion is with the full powers of independence, and in that event we propose to bring forward a bill for the Islands Act. It is by the transfer of powers to Scotland that we can further transfer to all parts of Scotland, including the island areas, and that's why the Council leaders and the Our Islands, Our Future campaign are endorsing our work plan.
Jamie McGregor.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The Minister knows I've supported more local decision-making for some Scottish islands, and I've flagged up concerns with him from constituents in Argyll and Bute that that local authority there might miss out on any future devolution of powers that Orkney and Shetland appear to be getting. Can he provide further assurances on this, and how will islands like Islay, Jura and Mull benefit?
Minister.
I think that's a fair point from Mr McGregor. It is absolutely the case that there will be ramifications and consequences for other local authorities and other communities arising from the prospect of enhanced powers, subsidiarity and decentralisation. That's exactly why I've attended the Convention of the Highlands and Islands, why I engage with COSLA, why I've written to the local authorities such as Argyll and Bute to assure them that any consequences from this very positive and dynamic discussion will benefit all parts of Scotland in line with the Lerwick Declaration.